Prophet Arikzosk Ira of the Xask beholds the gypsum-inscribed glyphs of the serpent tablets of Zas, remnants of an ancient Godir temple. These tablets have unerringly directed him to the promised land he has found. The triumvirate of Dragon Lords holds but a weak grip on unity here, in this western reach of Khoridu. This, the tablets reveal, will be the site of Irzasri's ascendance. The prophet's eyes, glazed over and entranced by the holy cuneiform of Zas's ancient priests, reads the names of the megaliths over which new settlements must be founded. 2 have already begun to grow, their order ordained by the sacred enumeration of Zas's prophecies. First, of course, is Irzasri itself, the testament of Zas, which shall dictate the rise of the others. And second is Zasara says, the Veil of Pathways, whose prognosticated seekers will discern the locations of those yet to come. More will rise. Some will represent the core of the geometric loci of the fledgling Xask Imperium. Others will stand on the edges, to be granted autonomy so that more minds might join the one, with unique perspectives and unique agendas. Dragonkind falsely believe in hegemonic unity, the tyranny of thought and purpose. And yet, such a thing is impossible. This is the foundation of their draconian order. A broken order founded upon a broken principle. The Order of Zas, dictated within the cuneiform script carved into the tablets, precludes a different form of order. A unity of many. Many thoughts, many voices, many eyes, all bound in purpose, but free to explore their own methods and agendas. Thus will the many, bound by a unity that acknowledges and accounts for division, triumph over the unity that is undermined by division. After all, division is inevitable. Life is chaos, and evolution, the random growth and change of life, is beholden only to the directives of entropy. So dictates the will of Zas. The scales of chaos shall usher in the new age. And so, Arikzoskira turns to Xairiazk.
Go, supplicant, to the megalith at the heart of Zessara says, as the scales decree and direct it to thrive beneath the will of Zas. You will find and uncover the next megaliths in the sequence. You will gather the forgotten in the shaded corners, and you will reveal to them the unity of purpose. Gather them to the megaliths and set them free. They must interpret the will of Zas as Zas wills their interpretations.
Xairiask bows her head.
It shall be done, prophet. All shall be as Zas wills.
Turning to mount her trusty warg, she pauses, looking back towards the taciturn prophet.
And what of those who seek our ruin? They scurry about in the glades and vales, searching. My hunters can remove them from the prophesied equation.
No, the prophet commands, turning slowly to face the zealous seeker.
The scales of destiny have not yet tipped to decree their removal. Let them see, for eyes blind shall see what they dream and nothing more. And the Xask have not yet entered the dream of a would-be god. The arrogant worm will see no threat to his greatness, and so we shall not force his eyes to open yet.
Xairiazk nods again and hisses. The warg, in response, sets out, leading the seeker to the megalith that shall be hers to grow. Greetings, O fated children, sons and daughters of Zas. Welcome back to Age of Wonders 4. It is the Ash Heritor, and today we'll be continuing on the narrative of the Xaask Exodites. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you enjoyed my little introduction again. Most of the episodes to come will have similar such introductions, and possibly even more little interludes of recorded narrative throughout the episodes as they go. Now, as we have seen here, we have set Sa'iryazk the Ruthless as the governor of Cesar says. Of course, from here she will be founding many scouts and seekers that will seek out new megaliths where new cities can be built upon. For now, the Prophet is going to cleanse the nearby lands of potential threats. There is a Watcher here, as well as a Phantasm, almost certainly in league with Herconics. They will need to be dealt with, as will the potential brigands in the area around. Nothing can be trusted. Not yet. Now, let us proceed onwards. Already, Sa'iryazk moves towards the Saracez. From there, she will recruit new warriors that will aid her in founding new settlements atop the ordained megaliths, and dealing with potential interlopers. First, a battle. Another Watcher, a Phantasm, and some enthralled Spirit Hawks. Will they be able to stand against us? I think not. The Watchers, with their foresight, will of course be ready for us. There's very few ways to deceive one of these creatures. But that matters not. The Prophet is still injured, thus we will be slightly more cautious than normal. Normally, the Prophet is not afraid of putting himself in harm's way. Not at all. But in this instant, he isn't going to lead the first force directly. Now, we could already attack these phantasms, or he's actually going to partake in some self-restoration to ensure that he does not fall. Such would be detrimental to the cause, of course. For now, we will set defenses, and we will allow the enemy to come to us. We will fight here in this choke point, where our ranged advantage will prove very deadly. Now, first things first, our warriors are ready to engage, which means they will need to be strengthened. So, we will bless our warriors, and we shall also invigorate the remainder of our forces, all save for the Sunderers, shortly before we engage the enemy directly. And so our troops engage. The battle is on. Prophets will begin by launching a bombardment here, which will dish out a substantial amount of damage to all three enemies. Our Sunderers will come around in the flanks and will hurl spears at the crows. Or birds, whatever they happen to be. Who knows? And we shall end our turn. The Watcher has directed a psychic gaze at the Prophet. He has acknowledged the Prophet as the primary threat here. Prophet dies. His warriors will surely falter, but they are well trained and will fight on beyond the death of their leader, or beyond the injury of their leader. We are not concerned about that. Now, our war shamans need to begin the attack on this Watcher. This Watcher must fall. But to deal with this Watcher, we're going to have to deal with those targets that are still in the way. So, we will direct a magical bombardment there, and then, with that, our warriors should be able to fell these verminous bird creatures. And of course, our Sunderers can throw some close-range spears at the enemy to soften them up even further, and we'll bombard this Watcher with a magic missile, thus concluding our turn. All of our troops heal ever so slightly, thanks to the spells cast upon them. And the Watcher directs bolts of malignant arcane energy at the Prophet himself. This must be some envoy of Herconics. It has clearly recognized the Prophet as a threat, but it must be killed before it can relay any information back to the Prophet, and so we will use our shields to stun it. Although, that did not work, unfortunately. Well, more spears to reduce its defenses. Our own spearmen will come in and skewer its eyeball, thus blinding it, preventing it from seeing anything further, while our remaining spellcasters do their best to take this monstrosity down. And down it goes. The battle is over. We have our victory, at no true loss to ourselves. Some minor injuries, some of our troops, individuals have fallen, but they have fallen for the will of Zas. Zas takes such losses into account. They are part of the equation. Now, here, new warriors must be founded that will aid in the finding of new megaliths and cities. We will have one Pathfinder join... Oh my god, her name. Sa'iryazk's army. And in the meantime, that will be all for the Prophet. Our scouts will continue their search. We need to find out where Hyrcanix is hiding, of course. Such would be incredibly crucial. There it is. Mana Font. Whether this is the first city built by Hyrcanix or not, that is unknown. It is not his throne city, which leads me to suspect that it is not the first city. We will need to be vigilant. He is not far from us. Stay hidden, scouts. You walk in dangerous territory. Let us prepare the Wayfinder enchantment, which will allow our scouts to relocate quicker. We are going to need to construct additional cities. That much is known. But alas, there's not much we can do until our cities properly expand. In 2 turns, more Pathfinders will be ready. I believe we need to send Sa'iryazk down here to found a city along this coastline. That is what must be. Now, the Prophet himself... Stormscale serpents here. Serpents have been known to work for Dragonkind. We will see whether these Stormscale serpents are hostile. As it looks like they are, which means either they are feral and thus a danger to our people, or they are bent to the will of Hyrcanix. In either case, they must be destroyed, regrettably. Other Stormscales might well serve us. After all, we share a form. In some ways. And so we shall engage. Our troops advance. We'll march up 2 fronts. Prophet himself will move behind his spearmen. The war shamans will move up through the middle, while the chaplains will move up through the flank. The Prophet himself is, once again, going to use Mending Touch on himself to ensure that he does not fall. In the meantime, he is also going to restore his warriors, providing them with a little bit more health and security. The equation, of course, allows for some losses, but when losses can be avoided, such is, of course, to the benefit of all. Our spearmen will flank around. The enemy will be aware of this threat, and so theoretically should attempt to mitigate it. Now, the Prophet will begin by bombarding the enemy with arcane bolts. And in the meantime... These warriors will advance. The Sunderers will advance. The Warcasters will advance. And for now, we will cast Bless upon the warriors to ensure that when they get into combat, which surely they will strike hard. But before they get into combat, I believe we want to weaken the enemy as much as we can. So we will sunder its defenses with a volley of javelins before moving our warriors into the cover to engage the first of the enemies. They will be taking the brunt of the enemy onslaught, but I have faith that they will be able to prevail. At least, that is what I hope. We could assist them with the Wrath of the Faithful, which we shall. We'll deal 15 damage, thus further weakening this Stormscale Serpent. Our warriors take a pummeling from these water elementals, while our spearmen are able to interrupt the flanking efforts of another of the water elemental packs. Tide elementals, whatever you want to call them. The Stormscale Serpents are incredibly dangerous. Unfortunately, our warriors may be in over their heads. Most unfortunate. Those losses will strike us dearly. The Prophet will, of course, need to retaliate. The sooner these spearmen are unoccupied, the better. So the Prophet will cast a magic missile to attempt to thwart them. While the spearmen engage the enemy there, unfortunately they are not able to fully defeat the enemy. And unfortunately here, these enemies are in cover from our Sunderers. Perhaps if we move... Still not. Because we absolutely need to deal with some of these enemies. I would like very much to be able to fully destroy one of these, but we'll see if that's possible. For now, we will drop a magic barrage there, and... Ooh. Unfortunately, if we charge in, we won't be able to finish them off. And we will throw javelins here. That will remove one of them from the equation at the very least. This magical bombardment here will deal a decent amount of damage and will poison it to the point that we can kill it with the Wrath of the Faithful. There we go. And now, one of the Stormscale Serpents is gone. The Stormscale Serpents make for the Prophet. The Prophet is willing to accept this. Or not the Stormscale Serpents. My apologies, the Tide Spirits. He's willing to accept this punishment onto himself. The Spearmen have defeated the other Tide Spirits, which will allow them to move behind and flank this Stormscale Serpent right here. And our Sunderers, now in melee combat, should be able to deal out quite a bit of damage, but for the meantime, perhaps it is better if they are blessed before they engage in direct combat. And here, what we can do is strengthen all of our forces here. This will allow them substantially more capable fighting prowess. The Prophet is perhaps not the finest melee combatant ever, but he is armed and he knows how to use his weaponry, so he will strike at one of the tidal spirits, felling one of them with the dagger. Stormscale Serpent continues its onslaught, unfortunately killing our Sunderers in the process. These are very dangerous creatures, we have now learned. But they will not withstand this magical onslaught. Unfortunately, we have suffered casualties that we will need to recover from. But we will find our victory in due course. As the Prophet defeats the last of the tidal spirits. Unfortunately, losses were experienced. Thus, the Prophet will return to the Testament of Zas to rebuild his strength, gather new forces. Already, new forces are mustering. It is unfortunate that it needed to be so, but alas, sometimes there is little that can be done. But Irzas 3 is poised to expand, and expand it shall. So we will gather more farmland to further our expansion. There are 2 more turns required before we can expand yet further, or we can spend 18 Imperium, which I shall, which will allow for immediate expansion here. I believe that will be beneficial to us. This immediate expansion could grant us some gold, but for now, I think I prefer to invest in some further farmland. We have produced a convent in Irzas 3, which means we will need to construct either a shrine or a battle ritual site, or a vendor. All three of these are going to be very beneficial to us. Let's get the battle ritual site for now. We are, of course, a warrior people. Bixaask. We are rebels, Exodites. The pathway to reach this promised land was a difficult one. And Narikzoskira has leveled up, which will allow him to attain Triumph Foretold. Target friendly unit in a 1-hex, or target friendly units in a 1-hex radius get aligned and Prediction Triumph is made. Prediction Triumph. All friendly units with aligned after 2 turns will get 3 strengthened, rallied, and hastened. That is amazing. Of course we're going to get that. He is a prophet. Foretelling is his thing. Really cool. I like it. Now, as for our scouts, we have located what appears to be the border of this region of the world. We do not need to expand beyond these borders for now. The tablets have decreed that this area, this region, will be where we make our stand. Our troops here will hold until the rest are ready to move with them. Yes. Good. The Wayfinder enchantment is ready. Now, our scouts will be able to move farther. They will also be able to see farther, thanks to their previous enhancements. Diplomatic channels will grant us an extra Whispering Stone. We do not need that. Not yet. Surge spellcasting. Casting a combat spell. We don't need that. We don't have many combat spells. Call of Chaos. Defeating an infestation grants you a unit based on the infestation defeated. I like that, but there's no infestations nearby that we currently need to deal with. Diplomatic focus we also don't need. Road building we probably are going to want. So let's actually pick that up. And with this road building, we will ensure that roads will be constructed between our cities, although I think they are. We just can't fully see everything here. Astral serpents. Going to need to deal with them sooner rather than later. For now, we shall end our turn. Need to be vigilant and watch mana font. In fact, it might be beneficial for our... Ooh. Draconix the Binder. There he is. Archon's deliverance reforged. Sairiask the Ruthless approaches you with solemn determination.
These are the fragments of Archon's deliverance,
She says, showing you a bundle of carefully wrapped weapon shards.
Long ago, it inspired fear in the enemies of the Xaask Exodites. Its keepers have long searched for a way to imbue it with new life. But never have we found the mythical focus crystals it is made of. Will you help, my prophet, in seeking the focus crystals needed to reforge the weapon of my forefathers?
Very well. I shall aid you. Let us see. We need to deal with these enemies. Excellent. The Prophet, of course, will deal with this himself. He will go... Soon enough, we will have more warriors to our call, and we will deal with these keepers of ancient knowledge, phantasms as well, likely under the employ of Hirconix. Likely conjured into the world by Hirconix, I should say. Now, Zasara says, you are almost done with Pathfinders, which means we should be ready to bring new warriors into the fold. Perhaps we shall recruit some caustic worms. We're able to recruit these animals here in Zasara says because Sairiazk is its governor, and she
has the ability to actually recruit animals into cities that she is the governor of, which is quite cool. Now, what have we here? Let us move through this territory. What have we found? A lesser tide spirit, huh? Good. Send it back to the homeland. It will aid us. It is a simple spirit, but the spirits of the land already answer to our beck and call. That is a good thing. Perhaps one day it will grow and become a greater tide spirit. For now, we shall shadow Hirconix's movements. Hide in the water. Signature skill is available. Wonderful. Well, visions of woe. That sounds important. We can bestow visions of false futures to our enemies, as Zas wills, which will cause them to hesitate and fumble their attacks. Let us take this ability. We will use it to great effect. Unfortunately, our pastures here are occupied. These entwined thralls. They could have been peaceful, but unfortunately, they appear to be hostile to us, which is not ideal. What I will do here is I will actually begin by constructing a road up in this direction, and then construct a road back here, which will allow the prophet, once he is ready to move quicker towards where he needs to get to. In addition, we will construct a road through this territory so that we can do the same thing. We're going to need to deal with these thralls here before we deal with this army. We have 24 turns to deal with them, so we should have enough time. Omen of Respite has been researched from the Tome of Astrology. So we'll be able to align more units and do a prediction of Respite, which will heal them and remove their temporary negative status effects, which is excellent. Astral Balance makes the race's units happier and easier to align to the Astral Sea, granting them 5 morale. At the start of each turn, units without aligned have a 30% chance to get 1 aligned stack. Sounds excellent. We are going to research that. Our Tidal Spirit is going to move up here. This Tidal Spirit will join in Sairiazk's army. First, Sairiazk will need to find a potential territory where she can begin the foundations of a new city. This, right here, might be good. We have ourselves a quarry. We have quite a few potential resources nearby. Doesn't sound like a terrible idea. There is down here, but this will eventually be expanded into by one of our other cities, so I'm going to leave this. And our scouts. The ones here, there's a dragon's lair here. We do not want to reveal ourselves to these dragons, so we will skirt around it. And we'll have to deal with them in due course. But for now, I think it's going to be fine. And here, let us construct some roads. Oh no, we have moved. Well, it's fine. We are hidden. Our forces are rather secretive. And besides, this doesn't grant them direct knowledge as to where Zasara says is, though Hirconix is heading in that direction. Evil presence lingers in these lands. Yes, a dragon's lair, we know. Okay. We need to keep an eye on Hirconix. Hopefully he doesn't turn on us directly. Let's watch what he does. His forces have moved up that way. Good. Not heading directly towards Zasara says. There's a chance he will slip past us, which would be excellent. I do not want him to find our city. For now, we will take control of this watchtower, and we will watch and see where he goes. Wonderful. In the meantime, move back to the capital, and once we are back at the capital, we will go and deal with these things, whatever they are. And, let's actually have our scouts make a road in this direction. We have ourselves a pirate cove here. Excellent. enemies that we're going to need to deal with. Let's capture this watchtower to ensure that we can observe what is happening. Our tidal spirit... So technically, our tidal spirit can craft roads as well. Do I want to make a road here? No, we don't really need to, because there's already roads here. And she needs to head further south. Right about to there. I think if we set the city right here, we will be close to Mana Font. But that's fine. We'll be ready. Ooh, hello. More scouts. We are being observed, but we are observing them. Thus far, they have not found out where we live, but we have found out where they live. We've produced our ritual site here in Irzas-Ri, which means we will need to construct something new. I believe it would be in our best interest to construct a vendor to increase... actually, let's construct a shrine. Our mana income is in a worse state. And Zasara says has constructed a workshop. Unfortunately, there's not much else I can do there. What I will do, though, is spend 36 population to increase, or 36 Imperium to increase its population, which will, in turn, allow me to gather this node here. What is this? Tranquility Pool will grant me 20 extra research, and researching spells cost 10% less knowledge. That is good. That could be very good. Or we take this mine for more gold. Let's actually take this mine for more gold right now. And, you know, it's not a bad idea to spend some Imperium early. This would take 3 turns, or we could spend 54 Imperium. I'm actually going to do this. This will allow us to expand further. We will construct yet another farm right here. 7 turns for 126 Imperium. Right now, there's not very many things I want to spend Imperium on, aside from founding another city. But that's still fairly cheap, so we should be able to get that back before we can actually found another city. So I'm going to expand this city even further. We're going to construct yet more farms. This will allow it to expand quite rapidly. Now, we need more money, so we're going to hope that that builds up quickly enough, because right now, we're not actually constructing anything here, aside from a caustic worm. Alright, let's watch Hirconix. Let's see what he does. See where he goes. Our opponent's move. Unfortunate. A threat. They mean to take the watchtower. Very well. We shall hide in these woodlands right here, so that we can maintain observation. They will take this watchtower, but we'll take it back after they leave. Zasara says is going to need to be defended here. We need to deal with this enemy, of course. So I'll move to this mine, and we are going to immediately build a road there, which for some reason will allow us to move farther. Don't ask. Well, a tortured-looking entwined thrall and its minions gape at your army, wordless. The vacant beings shuffle towards you, their limbs and features wrapped in grasping vines. Leaves shudder and bark creaks in silent supplication, but they make no otherwise hostile movements. Will you grant them mercy, or will you attack? We could let them grow. They will be removed from this location for 5 good alignment, or we can discover how to harvest their vines to allow them to leave afterwards. This sounds excellent. We'll lose a bit of knowledge, but we'll gain more food in Irzas-Ri. Let's do that. I'm glad we were able to find a peaceful compromise. Now, we could quickly pick up the naval, the basic seafaring. I'm going to do this, because this is going to allow us to quickly move into the sea, which will in turn allow us to pick up this box, this flotsam. And there's more over here as well. A little bit of extra resources will not hurt us in the slightest, because we need it. Here, Zasara says, we shall construct a ritual battle site. It'll take 6 turns. We are almost in position. There are enemies down there. There are 2 enemies here. These are tier 2. I don't know if I can deal with them. What we need is more eyes. No, oh wait, sorry, wrong game. What we need is the ability to summon units. That would be very excellent for us right now. Because right now, if we build a city here, we're not going to be able to actually exploit these resources just yet, because there are creeps standing over all of them. And I know now, these serpents are actually kind of dangerous. Plague serpents as well, interesting. And then these are slither hatchlings. They also look dangerous. But we will need to found a city here eventually, so perhaps we can begin by constructing an outpost. It will take 1 turn. You will hold here for now. How are my scouts doing? Now we have our scouts up here. We've taken this watchtower. We can observe what the enemy is doing. And let's just head over this way, actually. More coast. Draconic has gone back south. Interesting. However, what's going on up here? Unfortunate. They're going to find us. So it is. Sometimes there's not much you can do. Oh no.
Well met, prophet. I am the dragon tyrant of Nazirax, the Swamp King. Prove your strength to me, and we may yet conquer this realm together.
I will give him a threatening welcome. I recognize your lies. Of Nazirax. There is no together for you. You see us as potential thralls, nothing more. You entice us with lies, but as soon as we enter your domain, you will bewitch us with your foul sorcery and turn us into all of the other creatures that you have bent to your will. This gluttonous creature, there will be no diplomacy with it. Now, where did we find its agents? There. Spring Fairy. Interesting. I would not expect such creatures to work for the Swamp King, and yet they do. Disturbing. The Swamp Tyrant has the ability to warp the land to make it serve its hideous will. Most unfortunate. You will remain there for now. Prophet will gather these resources. Unfortunately, he's not able to gather them because it takes an entire turn to embark and disembark. But we need to construct more things here. Unfortunately, we cannot. Then you will move this way. Got more of the land. For now, I think I'm going to set you to automatically explore. And here, our Caustic Worm is going to help defend the city. The creatures of the land know their purpose. And the creatures of the land that serve us know their purpose all the better. For they too fit into the grand equation of Zas. Now, let us observe what Hirconix is doing. No. There's absolutely no way they haven't seen us. They know where we are. Are you constructing an outpost? No. Surely not. The cost of ascension. The chairman of the Xask Exodites Council approaches you.
Greetings, Prophet Arixoskira, the Frilled One. May I speak openly?
Without waiting for your response, he continues.
You were always one of us common people, but now you have ascended. With your magical abilities and your immortality, you are far above us, and we fear you will become like the Wizard Kings. It seems there are rumors among your people that you have grown distant from them. How do you respond?
Well, we can suppress the rumors with force, of course, but perhaps not. Let us investigate the rumors and learn exactly what our people want. No, we don't want to do this. It will cost us research, but we want to make sure that our stability remains strong here. Our stability is good, after all, but it could be better. Now, here, this outpost is complete. So, first things first, we will need to construct palisade walls. Our outposts already, it would seem, have a work camp. Wonderful. Well, there could be farms, there could be quarries. I think we're going to start with quarry here. Now, unfortunately, this quarry is occupied, so we won't be receiving any sort of resources from it until we deal with the enemies there, which she cannot do on her own. But for now, we will gather these resources. That will be 70 gold. That is hugely beneficial to us right now, because we are actually rather low on gold. I would like to be able to save up and get the communal tent, which will increase our gold income and will allow us to expand further and recruit tier 2 units, which would be wonderful. Or I just get the vendor. Just gonna get the vendor. What's the ancient seer hall? 10 knowledge, 10 draft. It's good, but gold is more of a bottleneck. Vendor it is. Since we're in the sea, we will gather these resources as well. 67 more gold. Not bad. Not bad at all. What have we here? 2 small octopus creatures. We can engage them and take the resources that they are guarding. These resources will be crucial in expanding further. Here in Zasara says, what is happening? I believe we need to construct another unit. So, let us construct a Sunderer. It will cost us 60 gold to do so. We have more than enough right now. And our scouts here are going to embark upon the waves and are going to also search for potential resources to be found. We could nab those resources. It's right next to these pirates. These pirates may respond and destroy us, but perhaps it's worth the loss of a scout. We shall see. Go. Go up here. You will join... Zairiask, the Ruthless. God. Who comes up with these names? Dear Lord. Remember, guys, if you are enjoying this series, do leave it a like. And thank you to everybody that left very encouraging comments in the first episode of this series. It didn't get nearly the attention that the first episode of my Spider Cult campaign got, unfortunately. But I guess that's to be expected since the initial hype for the whole game has died down a bit. You know, that's always the case. There's always a little bit of a hype spike when it comes to DLCs. But, you know, I'm okay with some slow and steady expansion rather than these big spikes of expansion. I mean, I'll take them when I can get them, but not always necessary. Okay, so we absolutely do now need to create the communal tent, because we can't expand further for now. Well, actually, I think we will once we take this, so I need to take this anyway. So we'll construct a forester here. The foresters aren't all that good, but aside from that, it's looking okay. Now, the Prophet is going to engage these 2 octopuses. I believe we can do this in auto combat. It's all good. So we're going to take this, which will be 70 gold and 71 production, which will immediately allow us to start constructing the communal tents. And what are we going to find if we go right here? Okay, another octopus. Ah, there's more loot right here, though. So let's immediately go. We can deal with these 2 tidal spirits in due course. And yeah, let's just grab it. Wonderful. 62 gold, 64 production. I believe that's going to Zasara says. That has only 1 turn left, so let's immediately set up some more production. We will get a vendor, which will give us more gold. And our tidal spirit will advance up here. Soon we'll have 3 troops, which should allow us to pick these guys off. I think we can handle that. Okay, you're going to hold there for now. Scouts here, do your automatic scouting in a moment. First, we're going to take this watchtower, and then you can do your automatic scouting. As for you, so they pulled away from Zasara says. I suppose there's a chance they haven't actually spotted us. Draconic is down there, almost certainly. Or perhaps he's up here? No. These are other troops. They have quite a lot. Evil presence lingers in these lands. Indeed, the pirate coves. Well, I think we can ignore them for now, although once the Prophet has dealt with these troops here, perhaps we will go and cleanse this pirate infestation. If we do so, I'm going to want to pick up that perk. So that will get me a unit. Very well. If Nazarax is moving, we're going to need to keep an eye on him. I don't know where his cities are. We're going to want to make sure that he doesn't attempt to take us over. Alright. Our tidal spirits have merged with, Yazg? Yes, I said it! Holy shit. About time. And our scouts here are going to, sail across the wide sea. Perhaps there's something up there. Perhaps not. Perhaps we shouldn't go quite so far. Now, let's engage the enemy here. This will be a risky battle. Or a low-risk battle, I should say. We will fight it out. This is a quest battle, of course, so perhaps there's something interesting. Perhaps not. Perhaps it's just a regular old fight. Well, it seems like we have similar terrain to the last one. A choke point. Or not the last one. The one before the last one. Choke point I can work with. They have almost entirely melee units, so... I think entirely melee units. I don't think those other units have ranged attacks. They might. They could. It is possible, but don't know that for certain. For now, we're looking good. We could drop a Triumph Foretold on our forces right here. So, all of our troops are aligned. And the rest of everything is... I could already drop a Bless, actually. Let's just bless up our warriors here. Should be good. Right, now we can end our turn. The enemy advances. We will dictate the terms of this engagement. Omen of Respite. Let's drop an Omen of Respite on that unit. We'll become even more aligned, and we will also be able to drop an Empower right here. So all of our units are going to be incredibly juiced as we make ready to engage the enemy. First things first, let's throw some spears to sunder their defense. And then, we will engage. Good. Solid damage. Our spears will engage them as well. And our chaplains can move right behind here to deal more damage to them. And the frilled one, what's the frilled one gonna do? Let's move the frilled one up behind them as well. And unfortunately, we can't use Visions of Woe. What I will do then is just drop a standard old magic bombardment. That's going to deal damage to all of them. Doesn't do much damage, but, you know, it does something. Alright, good. They're attacking here. They're attacking my spearmen, so they're going to get a preemptive counterattack, because spears have reach. They're also attacking the spearmen. Okay, that's unfortunate. Ah, of course, the birds can fly. I mean, that makes sense. Hopefully our backline can deal with them. We should be okay. The question is, what do we want to deal with first? I think the Prophet is going to start off against this one, so he'll dish out a solid stab there. And we are going to drop a Healing Prayer on our Spearmen, because they are kind of damaged. And let's engage these ones in melee with our Sunderers, which will just straight up kill them. And then we can drop a magical bombardment on those crows over there. And our spearmen, can our warriors finish these ones off? They can. So let's do that. Good. And our spearmen can then attack them. Hopefully our spearmen are going to be able to survive this. Let's end our turn. Morale goes up. We should be okay if they don't crit. Good. Ah, shit. Very unfortunate. Alas, another casualty. So it must be. Alright. Just before our healing proc. Okay, magic missile is just going to straight up kill them. Good. They're dead. We could throw in some javelins here, or I could move up. Be more accurate with my javelins. Let's see if we can't pick off these crows, because they're very obnoxious. And our war shamans are going to come here, and I just finish them off with magical bombardments. Very good. And our chaplain here is going to bless our warriors. And our warriors are going to come in right here and are going to deliver a shield bash onto these warriors, hopefully stunning them in the process. Excellent. They are stunned, which means we're going to be able to hit them with everything next turn without them hitting us back. Or they won't be able to hit us back this turn, I should say. They can still probably hit us back. But let's see what kind of damage we can do to them beforehand. Should have actually thrown the spears first to sunder their defenses, but I think it's going to be just fine. Good. The prophet will finish them off. Unfortunately, we did lose our spear bearers, but it is what it is. What we have done is completed the focus crystals here. We need to attain them. Ah, shit. So we actually need to construct a settlement here. Or we have 18 turns to expand, Zasara says up there. We could shoot for that. Let's actually try and shoot for that. So, let's just build some more farms. What kind of Imperium? That'll cost 144 Imperium for 8 turns. Let's, first things first, construct the Call of Chaos. Or research the Call of Chaos. This will allow us to defeat the pirate infestation, which I do want to do, because they're there. Alright. These are the Cross-Kalog thralls of Abnazarax. Ha! Right from under your nose. Alright, that was good money. Let's build a market. Perhaps the stonemason first might be better. Let's construct the stonemason then. Will allow us to build other things quicker, and my ruler has leveled up, so we will grant him more leadership capabilities. Perhaps some precision training. We do use a lot of ranged units, though I'm going to give my army endurance training, because we have been dying a fair bit. Perhaps that's better. This evil presence, freebooters laugh as they smuggle goods along the waves, and pirates raze villages by the sea and riverside, plundering all they desire. The call of the sea resonates with these men and women who congregate in hidden coves and bays. Raucous singing can be heard in these places, accompanied by the smell of stale, stolen ale wafting through the humid air. Wretched, truly wretched. These represent a threat to the equation of Zaz. They will need to be purged. Xosk. Sorry, Arixosk, the frilled one, will deal with them himself. With a bit of strategy, we should be able to deal with these forces. They aren't too potent. In fact, their units we are quite familiar with. So, let us move up towards the coastline. And let us have our scouts move up here. Very good. And our scouts here on the waves are actually going to come a little bit closer to shore, because theoretically there might be loot here for us to find. And this outpost is looking good. We could construct a watchtower, but again, that doesn't actually matter. So we need 200 Imperium. We will have that by next turn. So, what I will do is engage these marauders here. This will be a difficult fight, but I think we can do it. I can use magic. We've got it. So I'm gonna use it. We just need to make sure that we don't throw anything into the thick of it too quickly. So let's... Actually, I'm going to put my troops there up in the front. And I'm going to keep her right behind them for now. Let's end our turn. See where the enemy is going to go. So these slithers can apparently shoot. They're a hybrid unit. I guess they have some sort of acid spit. Venomous spit, indeed. What a shocker. Alright, the question is, what's the most dangerous threat? I want to say it's the serpent. But these little shits here might be kind of dangerous. So, let's actually drop that right there. So all of my units are now aligned. And I think I want to start by... We can't see them, huh? Now we can. Only 50... No, we still can't. Okay. Then move right here. Then you can see them. 90%. Throw some javelins in. The defenses have been thundered. We shall engage right here. Dish out a bit of damage. And I want to then be able to charge these slithers, which is going to deal a ton of damage to them on the charge. So that's good. And then she won't be able to be attacked by more than one unit, although they could spit at her. But I think we'll be okay. Or they're going to go on a long flank and attack her. All right, it's not much damage, so that I'm okay with. Yeah, these serpents hurt. They do a lot of damage. So in all likelihood, I'm going to lose my tidal spirits. Oh man, brutal. Incredibly brutal. So, I could move right here. We could straight up kill this unit. Just get them out of the way. Sunderers can do that. She can then go around and charge there. Or she can charge the serpent. I think I want to deal with them. Because the Sunderers should be able to survive one turn. It's not going to do much damage. I don't have any other spells. We need more research, but alas, we took some hits to our research early on, which is not good, but not much to be done about it, unfortunately. Ugh, so much damage. Alright, good counterattack, though, so she'll be able to kill them next turn. Unfortunately, we're probably going to lose our Sunderers in the process. Withdrawing is going to... Ah, good. The respite has triggered. Fantastic. Or you could come in and do that. That will trigger a counterattack, but that's fine. I'm willing to take that, because that's going to cancel their retaliation, which is going to allow our Sunderers to kill them. All right, the Serpent is down. That is clutch, and I think we can survive the counterattack from this thing. I don't think it's going to be able to kill my Sunderers, even if they spit. Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. All right, that was good. So, just throw some javelins, no, you're going to charge them and just kill them like that. Yeah, there you go. Done. Problem solved. All right, she's proving to be effective. I like the lance. It's a cool weapon. Hopefully that's leveled her up. It has. Not, actually. Okay. Well, that's, disappointing. So it is. Not much to be done with our outpost here. New Empire development skill. Yeah, nothing we need. Hold on. We do have casting reserves. That's going to be good, but we don't want to spend our Imperium right now because we need a new city. Adaptive research is going to be great. We're going to want that too, as soon as possible. And our alignment has changed to good. Fantastic. Well, how's this evil presence lingering in our lands doing? Well, it's being evil and it's lingering, so let's end our turn so that we can go and deal with it in due course. We can crush it, and maybe we can liberate some of these goods floating around. We have 18 turns to take this. I don't know if we're going to be able to. But we're going to try. Sorry, 17 turns to take the focus crystals here. Well, the pirates are engaging me, and it looks like they're doing it piecemeal. Pirates, you know, not always the smartest of folks. We're just going to auto-resolve this. And, yeah, they died, as expected. And now, we should be able to deal with them rather easily. So, let's go in the water. We are just going to sink the rest of these boats. The communal tent has been constructed, which means we are ready to further our expansion here. Now, what do we want to build here, though? We could construct a wizard's tower. It'll give us +5 Imperium income and +2 vision range. Cost us 75 gold and 75 mana. The gold cost is not bad, and the mana cost I can absolutely take. So, we're going to construct the wizard's tower. The prophet's tower, we should say. And in Zasara says, how are we looking? We still have things going on. I kind of want to recruit some units, though. So, we've got a Sunderer and a Caustic Worm. Let's construct a Spear Bearer. Gotta get some melee units in there, and I kind of like the Spear Bearers. I like the Warriors, too. But I'm just generally a polearm kind of guy. What the hell? Nazarax has withdrawn to the astral void. Something must have happened. His presence is suddenly gone. Interesting. This must be some sort of scheme. Nazarax would not be so easily defeated by random enemies, but perhaps he has met his match against something. Either way, that is good for us. That is one threat that we currently don't need to worry about. I mean, we do, but not as much. So, we're going to want to deal with this force. All of these forces, technically. Everything around us here is going to need to die. But let us found a new city of the Xaazg Exodites, the third city in the sequence. It will be done in one turn. So, let's end that turn. Or let's get to that turn. Planar problems. While connecting with the cosmos, you notice a disturbance in the astral flows. An overly curious mage has tampered with the mana currents. She accidentally opened a portal, drawing in magical creatures from the astral sea. Now she is hiding behind a barrier while the summoned monsters threaten the entire area. Will you rescue the mage and banish the magical creatures at its location before it is too late? We could gain an astral wisp, but our cities would lose stability. And I believe if we take this, we will get an astral boon and a mystery bonus. We might be able to recruit this mage. I will help out our fellow arcanists. They're right up here. That's not far from us, actually. We can, once we deal with these pirates, can immediately go and deal with that. Fantastic. They are defeated. And in turn, we receive ourselves an Arcane Guard, 93 gold, and Juggernaut Greaves. I will take them all. Our pirate here will join us in our endeavors. Come. We will deal with these creatures that are on the way first, so that we might acquire more resources for Empire. There's a Nemu, there's a Kraken spawn, and there's a Lesser Tide Spirit. Very well, we'll fight this one. I want to see these creatures. I want to show you these creatures every now and then. I don't want to fight every single battle, particularly the ones that are very easy. But if it's at all a challenge, then perhaps we will. We have turtles. These must be the Nemus. They have enhanced symbiosis, so they can protect other units, granting them strengthened and bolstered defense and resistance. No, it grants the enemy, or grants the friendly unit strengthened and grants this unit bolstered defense and resistance. Very cool. And the Krakens are just, or the Kraken spawn are just an attack unit, as are the Lesser Tide Spirits. So it is. As for what we have boats. That is what we have. I like boats. Let's target the Nemu. And we're going to bless the warriors here. Our Sunderers are going to advance. They are not going to be in range to do anything. Our War Shamans are going to advance and also not be in range to do anything. And our Arcane Guard here are going to advance and also not be in range to do anything. Wonderful. So, the Nemu have done enhancing symbiosis there, and our Tide Spirits are now attacking my warriors. That's fine. The Krakens are not going to be able to get into range. Delightful. Now, the Nemu are going to be quite hard to defend, whereas the Kraken is juiced up, which means it's going to be quite dangerous. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to shield bash the Tide Spirits so that they can't attack us. And then I believe we need to do as much damage to these Krakens as possible. So, I'm going to, we need to get into a position where I can. So let's move up here, and then I'm going to throw some javelins at the Krakens. I'm not too worried about the Nemu. They're not a super high damage unit. Our Arcane Guard can get to right there. Unfortunately, I wanted to get closer, or wanted to get behind them, but that would have reduced our amount of attacks. I should have empowered first. That's fine. We'll be okay. Here we can do quite a lot of damage to both of these units. Let's do it. Fantastic. The Prophet, very successful. And our chaplains here are going to deal a little bit more damage to the Kraken. Can we actually kill the Kraken with a Wrath of the Faithful? We can. All right, so it's dead. It cannot strike back at us. Let's end our turn. The Nemus will attack our Sunderers, unfortunately from the flanks, but so it is. A little bit of damage. And, of course, the Tide things are stunned, so now they're dead. Rip. All right, moving up here. I think we should do a healing prayer on our Sunderers, just to be sure. And our Sunderers can attack. They'll do a little bit of damage to these Nemu, but the Nemu are quite tough. So what I will do this time is move our Astral Guard directly behind them so that we can properly flank them. And the frilled one is going to do the same thing. He's going to move there, and let's use a Restore on our Sunderers, and you are going to get a flanking magical blast. And I think that's good. Send the turn. We should have this in the bag without having to worry about suffering any casualties or any additional damage that's going to stack up over turns. So, marvelous. So, our flanking unit is going to start off by dealing quite a lot of damage. The Arcane Guard here. These are humans that have chosen to fight us. Former pirates that now realize the error in their ways. They see how quickly they were defeated by an enemy with a purpose, and they have joined our ranks instead. We offer them a new path, as we offer all. Wonderful. Excellent resources. And our scouts here are going to quickly seize these resources. 80 gold for our empire. Fantastic. There's more for us to find over here, though there are some dangerous dire penguins nearby, which we're going to need to be very careful of. What shall we research? We could research astrologers, which would be a unit that could do cosmic blast, a bit of damage. It's a support unit, so it's not going to be too much damage. And this would align units and grant all aligned units 3 fortune, which will increase their critical. Or faithful whispers. We don't really do free cities yet, so I'm going to actually research the astrologer. That sounds cool. Ziar Raizk. The current of destiny flows between the mountains. It has grown over yet another lost megalith, where the ancient cuneiform script of an old civilization lost to time has guided the way. And now, Sa'ir Yazk the Ruthless has founded this new city, as was decreed, the 3rd city in the sequence. Its purpose will be revealed by the prophet soon enough, once its chosen steward is elevated from the ranks of the Xazk. But all of that will have to wait until the next episode. I hope you've all enjoyed it, and if you do, please do drop this video a like. It helps me out tremendously. And don't hesitate to leave any comments as far as ideas for the narrative or ideas for gameplay. I don't mind backseat gaming in these types of series at all. Doesn't mean I'm going to listen to everybody, but if you want to give your advice, your feedback, go for it. I absolutely do not mind that at all, and I usually enjoy reading it, and I learn quite a lot from you guys. So, go for it. All right, everybody. I hope you've all enjoyed it, and I will catch you in the next one. Ash Heriter out.